went on to the United States to study at Full Sail University, where he earned his film Bachelor of Science in lightning speed. In a matter of just 2 years, he went above and beyond what I would say 99% of students normally do in their college career. And he worked really hard out of ASM to be able to earn his bachelor's degree in just 2 years. So we're really excited because Mr. Aboufirass has a background in film and production, video engineering, digital image, camera, a whole host of skills and experiences that range from film. I think he was in producing Netflix shows to commercials with companies such as Red Bull, Amazon's Tom Clancy and Jack Ryan shows, the Hyatt, Gucci, Red Cross, you name it. It seems to me that this young man has done it all, and it makes me really proud as the head of ASM to be able to introduce. It's my honor to be able to introduce to you, the students and the staff, Mr. Hamza Aboufirass, to speak to you about his experiences and his studies. And the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Casey. Yeah. So it's an honor for me to be part of this starting basically of this introducing this new ASM Career Connection event that you guys are having planned and whatnot. So just to keep it brief, I went in back in 2011 or so through a bunch of teachers in ASM. We started working through high school. We went through all these different creative projects that we started working on. That kind of led me into the media aspect industry. And then I went in and said, I always had an issue of doing things fast, even back in high school and in hello. Yep. So even back in high school, I always had issues with finishing tests very fast, and that was always a complaint by my teachers. But yeah, so I went in and through a bunch of different, looked around a bunch of different universities and whatnot, and found the Full Sail University. So Full Sail University is a non-traditional university type of style where you're going straight into what you want to do. So you do a bunch of introductory basic classes where you're taking about 5 or 6 months or so of general classes, but then you go into a fast-paced straight into the industry. So it's not to say it's easy. It was very hard. We had classes ranging anywhere from 8 hours to 12 hours to 16 hours sometimes a day, 24/7, like all week long. We only had 5 weeks that were off during the whole year. But again, it's an accelerated program because I really wanted to go into the field. I really wanted to get things done, and also, so that's kind of how I went into university and how I found Full Sail University and how that's the general gist of it. And then after that, it's just when I went to university. So trust me, it's very hard at the beginning. It's you have no idea where you have to go. You have no idea what you have to do. You're just in there, but you meet people, especially if you have really good advisors. You just try to talk and figure things out from there. So yeah, I'm not. It's not to say that I did not party as other people said. But you have to know that you need to if you want to succeed, you have to limit yourself to a certain amount of party. You can't just go in party. You have to go in and say, okay, I can party for a couple days or so. Yeah, I've experienced that. Great. What next? If you just stick on that part, you're never gonna succeed. You're just gonna keep on doing a looping over and over again. So yeah, so I did my few partying stuff on back in university, and then decided, okay, let's figure out what's there. I started searching on their online community. So most universities now have an online portal of some sort. So I tried to reach out to people in the same students that are in the same kind of field. And then I said, you know what? Let's go for events. And I went in and started creating events just to socialize and whatnot. And then that led into multiple work for food. Let's say so. Instead of me going in, okay, oh, I have to go work, try to find work for money or any of that stuff. No, we go in and find work for experience. So you're being paid in experience wise. So in the first year and a half of my of university, I did over 280 days worth of production days. This is while maintaining my high school, while maintaining my classes, going to my lab. So it's and I kind of scheduled, programmed myself more or less as trained my sleep schedule to sleep whenever I need to, at any given moment within that 24 hours, and then wake up with an alarm. That's the most important thing that you'll probably get to university is you need to schedule yourself to be able to sleep at any given moment that you feel tired, and you wake up within the time that you set in your alarm. So if you have 4 hours that you have to sleep, you take a power nap for 4 hours of sleep, and then wake up at any given moment, whether it's 12 in the afternoon or it's 5 in the morning or any of that time. You just go and sleep, and that's the key thing. That's the main thing in regards to me succeeding and being able to go through the fast-paced classes. That you have schedules that are 1 a.m., 9 p.m., 9 a.m., and you're just going with the flow of that specific schedule. It's hard, but you go with it. Once you do, I stayed connected with I through other extracurricular activities on university. I was introduced to WWE, wrestling guys. So I started working just simple stuff, camera assistants, whatever, just experience. Sometimes even just for food. Honestly, I don't care. It's just you're adding experience for it. I don't care if you pay me. I don't care if you don't. It's whatever you just need me. You just basically need to work and get your hands on equipment. You get your hands on with people that have been in the field for 20 or so years. You just get it there, get it done, get it there, get it. And again, you should not go incredibly fast because then you're going to end up with things that I can discuss later on. But you have to get things done at a good pace. Don't waste time. Really don't, because the amount of times that that specific time between the age of 18 and the age of 21, that's your peak connection time. If you waste that, you're gonna have a hard time figuring out how to get connected to the industry, any industry that you want to. So I went in WWE, worked for a year with them, and then I got to kept being promoted over and over again. Yeah, no money, no nothing. Started working. It's fine. They're making money. I understand. It's fine. Uh, stayed humble, stayed keeping my head down, understood everything, understood the facility, got to know the whole facility, got to know the ins and outs, every single place, which cable where it goes, everything, and that's kind of how you become an important factor for that project. Is that when you are the person who, if they need a cable, you're the only person who knows where that is or can find it fast. You know where that you become of value to that specific project. Yeah, and that's basically it. So I got promoted, and then I became technical director. So what technical director is basically the guy behind the buttons, behind the console of a switcher. So a switcher is, it's a big. I don't know. I don't have a way to share my screen right now, but it's basically a big, yeah, it's a big board with a bunch of buttons. over 230 buttons or so, and each button relates to a specific source. So camera 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that is basically how you're just switching cameras. If you take a look at if you open up your TV and just go from one shot to the other shot, so there's a person who's actually pushing those buttons. And on the show that I was working with on WWE, it's called NXT. That show, we shot 4 hours per month of it, and each hour is over 3,000 cuts. So that's 3,000 buttons that we're pushing. Again, you're gonna mess up. I know. I am gonna mess up. It's fine. It's part of the experience. I messed up. The producer yelled at me, said, "Get out." Anyway, I can't say that it's over, but it's fine. You just brush it off. Don't make it personal. Brush it off and continue on. Never make things personal. The moment you make things personal, you lose track of where you're at in your career. The moment you get things personal, you're done. Like, never take things personal. Just brush it off, keep calm, stay, and continue on with your goal. So set a goal every 2 years. Set a goal. Say, okay, I want to reach this specific point, and make it small goals, not big goals or anything like that. Small goals to the point. Every 2 years, say, okay, I want to reach here, and evaluate yourself every 2 years, and see where you're at. If you're anywhere far off, change your strategy. Maybe you're doing something wrong. But never give up. Try again. Trust me. Try again. So yeah, I worked so hard that I broke my foot. I did not even know that I broke my foot. I stayed working for over 2 years, and then it's one time I couldn't literally just walk. I couldn't walk, and I had to forfeit. So that's kind of my KO moment where I had to stay down for I don't know 3 days, 4 days until it healed again. I went in and did the radio after the X-ray, and then it was actually broken for 2 years, and I didn't even take care of it. I didn't even think about it. So those are one of the mishaps that if you go too fast, you get. So you have to manage a level between going very fast and going very slow, and that's why the 2-year mark is a very good mark for you to say, oh, okay, where am I at? It's not a 5-year plan. It's not a 10-year plan. It's a 2-year plan. Maybe even make it a 6-month if you want to make it 6 months. But make it small goals that you can reach, and be humble. Like, be understanding that you are gonna reach only that small. Don't make, oh, I want to build 3 buildings or anything like that. Don't over exaggerate things. Make goals that you know can reach. Even if you think you can reach them by tomorrow, just make it as a goal. Don't. It's fine. And yeah, that's basically it. After that, we did a couple projects. You stay awake. I pulled one time because of responsibilities. I pulled an 80-hour shift one time, complete 80 hours. I was hyped up on caffeine and whatnot. But it's when you are in responsibility positions, there is this, as they say, the show must go on. So I had a big failure, hardware failure, that on an event that it just crashed. The next morning we have the show. I can't overnight any equipment anywhere from the US. Literally, whatever the cost was, I wasn't able, material equipment was not available, so I had to improvise. And I went back as though we're kind of like using duct tape to build a full show. Like, everything was like every single cable, you would just go in and duct tape that and then go on. So it was over 250 connections that we had to make overnight. It's fine. Things must go on. But and also, if things do not work out the way that you want it to work out, there is no. You don't have to say, "Oh, I'm never gonna succeed," or just go down. Like, I've had my ups and downs. I know that. I have really bad experiences that really went me into bad places. But then you sleep it off, wake up in the morning, say, okay, I'm alive. Let's see what's up. Let's see where we can head, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And then after that, came back here. So after a bunch of experiences, finished my bachelor's degree, did the 1 year OPT training, uh, optional practical training in the U.S. for another year. Decided to come back here to Morocco, where I thought the industry is never gonna. I'm never gonna be at the same level as I am in the U.S. But then you never give up. I came here. I had rough 1 month or 2 months, and then an opportunity presented itself. And I said, "Oh, okay, you're going to be working with Michael Bay. Great. How long? 2 days. Great. I'll take it." Why? Because that opportunity in the U.S. I would have never received it at all because of competition. But here, because you have been filtered down to a different level, you're working with different people, that opportunity can present itself quickly. And that is the reason why my resume is so hard, because so good, is because you have all of these things that at first, when I was leaving the US, I was like, oh man, all of this stuff, all this reputation is just gone, flushed down the toilet, it's like gone. But then it's like, I come back here and say, okay, let's figure out stuff and whatnot. And it led me to a different way. And then it's not to say that I did not keep connections back in the US. I did keep connections, really good connections. One of my teachers actually is still one of my clients right now. So they call me up every month or so. Hey, can you figure out how to do this or how to do that? All the way from the US. And positioning myself here in Morocco gives me a really good opportunity to lead Moroccan industry as well as the US, um, in places where I can do remote. And yeah, and do a lot of research. Google is your friend. YouTube is your friend. Everything that you want to know is on YouTube. Literally everything that you need to know is on YouTube. Everything that you need to know is on Google. You just have to go looking for it. Like back, I don't know, back in ninth grade, one of my one of my computers teachers once said, we had a training class on how to use Google properly. And that is one of the classes that I every time reference. How do you use Google? How do you create a query search on Google to get what you want? And that is a must if you want to do research. What do quotes, double quotes on a Google search mean? What does a minus mean in a Google search? What does a plus mean in Google search? So a Google search is literally your key. The information exists. All you have to do is filter it down in a way that you can search it, manually search it. So filter it down using computers, and then filter it with your eye, and then you'll get the information. I'm currently right now, I'm working in Morocco. I work on film industry as well as I do a lot of web development and software engineering. And I do not know a single thing about code. I really don't. But you know what? I know how to use Google. So if I don't know how to shut down a computer with Linux, I write down shut down Linux Ubuntu, and it'll give me the command, and I just copy paste it. Done. I don't. And after that, a person comes in who does not know how to use Google, sees me doing that, and say, "Oh, you're an engineer. Wow." I didn't do anything. All I did was search on Google. That's simple as that. But yeah, so don't give up. Search, search, search. Google is your friend. YouTube is your friend. If you're a more visual person, YouTube is your friend. There's probably going to be a video about that specific topic in YouTube, without any doubt. There are millions and millions and millions of people around there creating insane, really good content for YouTube at every single topic. They're trying to monetize it from their end, so they're trying to do their best to give the information for you, so that you can watch the video and that they get paid in regards to ads. So content does exist. It's just a matter of finding it, where it is, and whatnot. And last thing is, like, anywhere you are in the world, like, if you have access to internet, you're golden. I can live in Costa Rica. I can live in Barbados. I can live anywhere I want. I can work from anywhere I want if I know how to work. I can remotely work. I can take my computer right now. I'm right now in my home office. I can move from here, go to coffee, continue work. Clients would never know. Why? Because I'm continuing finishing my work. All I need is computer and internet connection, and that's all I need. And a power source, of course. But cool. So I talked a lot. If you guys have any questions, I'm open for.
Mr. Aboufirass, I first want to say thank you for your messages. If you look in the chat, I've been writing quotations, direct quotations of you. I must have 15, 20 quotations of you, and they're all words of wisdom. You know, you're a precocious person. You know, I know for the students, you might seem, oh, you're so much older and all that, but
I'm only 25 years
old. I know you're still young, and you've got an amazing career still ahead of you. And I just want to say, you know, thank you for sharing your words of wisdom, truly, in that chat that I tried to record. But I would like to open it up for the students to ask you questions. This is a wonderful opportunity, and I'd like to say to the students, please do take advantage of this wonderful opportunity from a professional who was not that long ago in the same seats that you are sitting in today.
Feel free to ask anything you want. No question at all is stupid. It's anything. Sometimes I'm just afraid of people, and when I'm sitting like a room like this, and like there are a lot of people that are very I respect and whatnot. I'm afraid to ask. Never do. Just go ask. And if you're afraid, just say, "Oh, I want to ask a question. Maybe it's stupid, but here it is." Just say that first, and then expectations will be very good.
You know, if no student, I mean, I'm talking because there's silence, and I want to fill it. There's a wonderful opportunity to connect with you, and maybe if I ask a question, other students will join in.
There is a question in the chat box from Adam. Excellent. Are you happy with your job, Hamza?
Yes, I am, definitely. I don't have one job. I have multiple jobs, but they're all good. They're really good.
Hamza, what's your main job? Like, what's your favorite job? What do you like doing?
So I like researching on like learning more stuff. That is one of my jobs as a consultant. So there's a job called consultant, and all you do is you search, and then people ask you, "Oh, do you know how to do this? Can we do this?" And you provide them with the answer. So that is actually a job, a consultant, where you go in and say, you search on Google. So like take one of the industry. What do you think was the peak of your current career? The peak of my current career. I don't think I've reached my peak yet. But if we were to just range it off just for this section, I would say the transitioning from US projects over to Moroccan projects, that was a really peak in regards to stress level. But in regards to success, if we take two different, so in Morocco, my peak is currently right now where I'm so one of the jobs right now is I'm actually because of COVID, what we decided was to adapt certain positions. So right now productions are not able to come in to Morocco. So what I came up with was a system where they can still shoot in Morocco and view elsewhere. So they direct elsewhere. So just a couple weeks ago, I did the commercial for Airbnb, where Airbnb shot over 17 commercials in one day, all remotely. So one was in Morocco, one is in Brazil, one is in the US, one all of these different countries. And that was one of the peak things because we were shooting literally in the desert, no internet connection, making things happen, making stuff happen, making all of this technology come together to for and adapting it for the current situation that we're at is just amazing. Yeah. Here. Do you think Morocco has a good job security? Definitely. Morocco has a really, really good uh, opportunity. There are a lot of good opportunities here in Morocco that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else, and I can guarantee you that. Yes, the you might think, oh, maybe the amount of money that you're receiving is less, but you have to compare it to the living standard. So here in Morocco, you can say, oh, you can take 5,000 dirhams, and you can live with it per month. In the US, you need at least 3,000, 4,000 dirhams. Well, sorry, 40,000 dirhams. That's times the price. So if you take a look at any rate and say, okay, a technician rate in the US is going to be their level is going to take 30,000 dirhams. In Morocco, let's say for example they give him 8,000 dirhams. That's 2 times, more or less, approximately 2 times the price of the US price, just because of the fluctuation of living standards. Let's see here. Where would I like to work next? Um, where would I like to work next? So there is a probable opportunity I had before, but I missed it, and that's something that I always want to go back to. So back in the U.S., I had an opportunity where I was able to work in a production truck. So a production truck is basically a big truck that has a lot of studio equipment stuff, and that company did a lot of those were in charge. That company was in charge of World Cup soccer and Olympics broadcasting. So that is the next place where I would like to work. Is university as hard as it seems? University uh, is is hard and uh, not hard and simple, depending on how much effort you put in. If you put very little effort, you're gonna have to find it very, very hard. If you put the effort in, it's made that you put enough effort that you can flow with it. The university really wants to go into university and output and become and get your degree. They don't want you to get stuck. So you put in the effort, you ask help. If you need it, ask help. There's never a shame in that. What are the best tips for keeping good work ethics? Good work ethics. Respect the other person, even if they're however they are, just respect them, and keep to your own lane. So one mentor of mine told me to. So there are these a donkey outside in the street has these paddles to the left and right of their eyes. Use those whenever you're going to work. Do your own thing. Stay in your own lane. Respect the other person from the other side of your shade, and you're going to be really good in your work. You're going to do really good. Is it good to become a politician? And maybe I don't have any any frame of reference in regards to that. My most regretful moment. Um, Sometimes I have to listen to older people, more experienced people than I am, and just because I'm sometimes blocked in my head, um, I don't. So sometimes you have to listen, even though you think that they're saying just nonsense. Listen to them. They're gonna guide you with it, especially if they're really close to you. What do you think is the absolute limit between working and unhealthy working? Um, so the limit between that. So there was a there's another, not the saying, but there's a principle that basically, if you want to have a uh, balanced day for you, what you have to do five things. You have to basically do something for your work, do something for your family, do something for your community, do something for your own self, and do something for your religion or whatever your beliefs are. If these five things, you do one thing, all five things each day, you're gonna always be balanced. And this is actually a quote from my dad. um, I think that's pretty much all the questions.
So I wanted to take this moment again. You're so filled with wisdom. You're fortunate to have the wisdom passed down from your father. Each day, do something for yourself.
Yep.
Something for your family.
Yep.
Do something for work. Something for your community, and something for your faith. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
I'm going to type that in. There's the last words of wisdom from Mr. Aboufirass. It has been a pleasure having you as our first guest speaker in the Career Connections. I hope the students have found your words as enlightening and entertaining as I have. Please do keep in touch as an alumni of the American School of Marrakesh. We want to keep in contact with you and your friends, colleagues, and we wish you all the best as you are continuing your dazzling career here in Morocco, and who knows, maybe the Olympics.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity as well. And if any of you guys, all students, anyone has any questions or anything, or just wants to ask me a question or just guidance or anything like that, I'll leave it into my, so I'll just, ASM. So here's an email. Well, that's email is asm@hamzaaboufirass.com. If you have any questions or anything like this, just shoot me an email, and I'm more than welcome to answering.
Thank you so much.
No problem, of course.
And let's be in contact. I'll give you a call after.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.